postponed and put online. San Diego has been postponed. We'll see what happens. But no, it's really wonderful, and I always look forward to going to camp. And also because going to Toronto, I met people that I'd never met before, because that's Canadians and New Yorkers and New Englanders and stuff to go to that one. Down here, you get more of the Southern people, and also people who just want to be in Florida in March.
Oh, right. Well, you actually talk in the book about, you ask the question, is a widow ever allowed to make jokes, for one thing, but you also refer to a new widow lifestyle. What did you mean by that?
What I meant was, and it's a joke in a way, it's like those phrases they use in advertisements, like, and your sleek single lifestyle, and your new Florida lifestyle with your golf course. And it's like, and your new little lifestyle. It's like, oh, that sounds like a stupid thing because it's not fun. But what I meant was, it's all different. It was one day I was married. 5 minutes later, I wasn't, because I was widowed. And I was in the same place, at least for a while, in the same house, in the same job, with the same friends, with the same kid and the same mom, but yet a chunk of my life had been ripped out. And it really did change, except for, like I said, I'm fortunate enough that just like with, COVID and stuff, these things happened, and I had my own job and my own insurance. I had my own car and my own bank account, my own credit. I was not like so many widows that I've met from down here who are, who were widowed. And I've been here 18 years, so, it goes back, further the age of the people, depending on when I met them. But, women who in their 60s and 70s had never had jobs outside the home, didn't know what banks their money was in, didn't know anything about their life insurance policies. They had to learn all these things. They had never paid bills. And suddenly, hopefully, their adult children could figure out how to do it. They didn't know the passwords for anything.
Yeah.
Not all of them, but that's a generational thing, like I said, depending on who you're talking about. And I was fortunate enough, if there was anything fortunate about that situation, I was fortunate enough that I had my own autonomy in that way. So while it ripped out my heart, I also didn't have to figure out how to pay my rent.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you speaking of ripping out, one of the quotes I wrote down from your book that just like got me was, you said, I climbed out of hell by the tips of my raggedy fingernails. And I kind of connect that to, as I was reading your book, I was writing down some of the names of the people that were your support system, your family, your friends, Scott's family, people that showed up out of the woodwork, and then the old diehards and so on. But, oh my gosh, you're so well loved.
That's really, and I'm not going to even be self-deprecating about it, because there's times when people go, oh, you're so great, and everyone loves you. Go, no, what, me? This whole thing? What? And I'm not even going to do that, because I take so seriously and so preciously. It would never sell short or pretend that it wasn't such a privilege and an honor to have connected with people who would go to the mat for you. And I have many, many people. I do the same for all of them, but it's very humbling.
Yeah. I think I cried. Those are the part of the times when I cried in your book is like, oh my God, he showed up for her then. Oh my God, she showed, oh no. It really got me. I just was so moved by that. Yeah. Lovely. Absolutely lovely.
Thank you.
You now live in an intergenerational household.
I do.
What are some of the cool things you're learning about each other?
Well, I've learned that my mother loves popcorn for dinner like Olivia Pope. She loves Hallmark movies. She is still better at mothering than I am, and she has, 40-year head start. But she remembers things I don't remember, and I'm like, oh Lord, if she removes, this won't get done, and things will be horrible. She's just so patient and so loving and giving, and I've learned so much about grief from my mother. I've learned so much about Like, is it patience? And, she's a widow too, and she's, it was not easy, her watching her child go through this. It was awful.
Yeah.
And she just keeps giving and keeps showing up, and it's pretty astounding.
Amazing. That's wonderful. That's great. Now, just shifting gears in a little time we have left, a couple of minutes here. You did mention maybe you'd get back in the game.
Yes.
I was thinking, if you get out on the dating sites and all that stuff, I can only imagine hearing other stories from my friends. I think you should write a movie script when you get around to doing that. Write a movie script about some of your adventures on dating sites.
I have already, it's been 5 years. I've already been and decided I want to date. I just don't want to be on I deleted all my apps. They're terrible, terrible. Everyone that I have dated, not just since Scott, but including Scott, from Scott on, has been someone I've known for a very long time. Oh. And my friends laugh at me, but because I go back to the recycle bin, in the Wayback Machine. But there's something to be said. I mean, it's nice to meet somebody new, but at the same time, there's something to be said for having a past with them and having a history.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yep.
So I am, but I'm
instead
done with
meet
that.
Somebody new, you meet them newly.
Fantastic. That's how I met my husband. So I'm a fan of it.
Cool. Very cool. So I love that you use the lines from the poem Invictus. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. Have you got a life philosophy? What is it you live by and share with your son?
Oh my gosh. And there's so many phrases and stuff that I use that probably don't start one, don't be that. No. That's true though. Basically my philosophy that I give him is to try your best, do your best, know that people love you, be true to your word, don't lie to people or waste their time, and know that you're loved, and that if you truly do your best, it's good enough.
Fantastic. Wonderful. And just to finish up then, you mentioned in the book at some point, and of course it was earlier on after Scott's passing, where you wondered if you'd find the strength to finish the most important thing that you and Scott started. So share with us what that is and how's it going?
That was the boy. And it's gone great. He's great. I mean, it's been weird for him this spring. Like everybody's spring was weird because he was in kindergarten. So he'd been in daycare and then in preschool. He's in kindergarten. He's in a real school. There's fifth graders who to him are like rock stars. Like, it's a rock star. It's a fifth grader. And then it all went away. So, I mean, we did an hour of instruction every day live, with the teacher. And they're really trying. A lot of parents lost patience with it. But these teachers were doing their best. And now that's done. So now we're doing like a couple days a week with a friend of his. And we have a cool nanny type teacher person who's hanging out with them, and that's really cool. But he's had so much to adapt to in his life, and now he's doing pretty good. And we just have to explain to him and turn the TV off and say, "Here's what's going on. I know it's weird." Like saying, "Listen, you're not going to be back in that class with that teacher and those friends." And it's hard to say never to a 6-year-old, but the school year's over, and it's very difficult. But he's a resilient, there's that word again, resilient little kid, and a really remarkable human. And he's annoying because he's a kid and he's a human, and we do that. But he's a really good person.
Yep. And he's, you're a big part of that. So
thank you.
Wonderful. Oh, Leslie, I'm so glad we were able to corner you for even this little interview.
Much fun.
I always love running into you around town, and I still imagine you in your green, what was it, Gore-Tex dress where you won the dance competition, 3rd place.
Oh, hilarious.
Hilarious. Yep. So thank you so much for being here with us. How do people reach you where do we get a hold of the book?
You can buy the book I prefer if you go to And in any independent bookstore, call, like some of them are open now, and order it if you don't want to go in. It's all in other places too, but I prefer you go to the indies, they need it. And you can reach me at on my website at lesliegraystreeter.com and just hit the contact thing and you'll find me.
Fantastic. That's Leslie Gray, Gray, Streeter, STREETER.com. The book that you must pick up and read, but pick up a pack of tissues with it, is Black Widow, A Sad, Funny Journey Through Grief for people who normally avoid books with titles with words like journey in the title. So thank you so much for being with us, Leslie. And
thank you.
Thanks to our listeners as well for being here. We look forward to you tuning in to the SOBradionetwork.com. Check out the archives for Living Legacy Leadership and my business website, GameChangerThinking.com. And remember, the life you live is the legacy you leave. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.